Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm back to break down the 7-game NBA DFS slate on DraftKings. Before we get into it, if you could please leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell if you enjoy the content at any point in this video. I greatly appreciate that. Right now we're at about 290 subscribers. Appreciate everyone that's tuned in and supported along the way. And if you're new to the channel, if you could hit that subscribe button, I greatly appreciate it. On the road to 300, so if we could get there today, that would be great. Before we get into this one, hopefully you had a good night last night. Some disappointing results as far as my first lock of the night, because I was really high on Trae Young, and I explained that Darius Garland and Colin Sexton literally had the worst defensive rating as far as defending the three-pointer in the three-point era, since that defensive rating has started to be tracked and since the three-pointer became a thing, which to me meant, Trae Young's a fantastic play, and unfortunately he wasn't able to quite get you there. But that was my reasoning. Didn't pan out as far as my first lock of the day segment, but we are going to bounce back on this one, and I promise you, we're going to have a good lock of the day today. I'm not going to let that stuff continue to happen. So, before we get into it, if you are interested, I do offer some more content over there on Patreon, where you can get access to my NBA projections, my NBA data sheet, player stats, team stats, play context stats, core plays, injury impact insights, NBA Discord chat access, and you can also get access to my chat access that includes my Google Sheets spreadsheet that has all of my tools on it. You can interact with me all the way up until lock, ask me questions. I've gotten some really good feedback on that. My Patreons that I currently have right now have been doing very well, so go ahead and check that out. Link below in the description. And then you can follow me over on Twitter at KJK_DFS to stay up to date with all things KJK DFS. And I always do tweet out my top projected play every single night for free as well. Just another way to try to get back to you guys for watching my videos. So, 7-gamer. Let's get into it. First game, Washington at Brooklyn at 6 o'clock. This one's expected to be one that I have a ton of interest in right off the bat. First game on the slate and probably the best game on the slate. A 240 over-under. 8.5-point favorites are the Brooklyn Nets. Russell Westbrook is expected to be back in this one after getting the rest last time out on the back-to-back. Expected to get the rest on back-to-backs, which means he's going to come in very fresh every single time out. And we've started to see the Russell Westbrook of old, the triple-double chaser. He's got a triple-double in his last 4 games. 10 rebounds, 11 assists last time out. 15 rebounds, 11 assists the time before. 15 and 12, 11 and 15. And then he's put up 21, 15, 21, and 22 points. Shooting not the greatest, 8 for 18, 9 for 17, 6 for 19. But the Russell Westbrook of old, if you've been playing daily fantasy sports, or if you remember when he was on the Oklahoma City Thunder, he used to do this, time in and time out. And he's 10-2 right now. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get priced up more towards 11K if he continues this. And he's definitely a great play in this fast-paced game. Him and Bradley Beal are the main 2 guys in this offense. It's kind of obvious as to who we're going to in this game. And then on the other side, it's Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. So these top 4 guys are going to be guys I have a ton of interest in. Going to be trying to jam these guys in as many lineups as possible. It'll be interesting to see as we go along the rest of the slate, which value options we can use to get these guys in there. But, I mean, they're the most blatantly obvious plays. 9-3 for Kevin Durant. I think he continues to be too underpriced. Gets to take on Washington, his hometown. A little bit of a narrative there. It is in Brooklyn as opposed to Washington, but I think anytime he takes on Washington, he wants to show out. So I like Kevin Durant. I like Bradley Beal. I like Kyrie Irving for sure. 9-1 and 9K for these guys. You got to have interest in them. And like I said, I think it's just really obvious where we're going in this game. Bradley Beal has been priced up in the mid-9K range, and now he's down to 9-1, so I like to see that. A little bit of a price dip. You'll take anything you can with a stud like this. If we can get just a few $100s off, that can go a long way towards him getting there or not getting there. So I like Bradley Beal a lot. Kyrie Irving at 9K makes a lot of sense. Another guy I've been playing a lot in these fast-paced games. He just hasn't been shooting well. Similar to Russell Westbrook, but Kyrie Irving's a lot better shooter than Russell Westbrook, and I think that, he could definitely straighten this out. Not to mention, I think we can see some more upside in his assists and that kind of thing. He's had 6, and 4 assists. And 11 rebounds last time out. I wouldn't be surprised to see his assists tick up there more towards 10 in this one against a Washington Wizards team that's not exactly the best defensively. I think he can get it done as far as, him shooting himself, and I think he can definitely get some assists for you as well. So, definitely have some interest in Kyrie Irving. And then as far as, the other guys on the slate, and when looking at, Thomas Bryant has been a guy that we've continued to have some interest in as far as his price tag, and he's coming in on this one. Right now with a 6.6 price tag, so he's definitely a guy you could continue to target because of how many minutes he's been getting. 22 minutes last time out after seeing 34, 34, and 32. I think the 22 minutes last time was a direct result as to the blowout. But at 6'6" against this big front court and DeAndre Jordan and Jarrett Allen, they're definitely going to need him out there on the floor. So he makes a lot of sense. Karis LeVert and Joe Harris are going to see slight bumps in usage because of Spencer Dinwiddie being out, but we haven't really seen them get there all that often. It's tough to go there when you can target guys like Kyrie Irving, like Kevin Durant. I mean, Joe Harris would be my preferred option of the two just because he's less on-ball dominant. Joe Harris is much of a more spot-up shooter in the corner. He can take the pass from Kyrie Irving and do a lot more of it, whereas Karis LeVert kind of has to be on-ball a lot of times to create for himself. So I would have interest in Joe Harris, probably fading Karis LeVert. And then, that is my interest in that game. Definitely a ton to have interested in. It'll be interesting to see how my projections grade out in the end of the day, as always. But that's top game of the slate, so you got to spend some time on that. Los Angeles Lakers taking on the Memphis Grizzlies at the top. LeBron James is questionable. Comes in with a 10-1 price tag on DraftKings. 9-point favorites are the Los Angeles Lakers. And LeBron's been listed as questionable every single time out there. Has yet to sit. I kind of think this is a good spot to just sit him. It's a Sunday. Sundays are a lot of times the rest day for these studs. I kind of lean towards him sitting, but I mean, I don't know. LeBron has been a trooper as far as just playing every single time out with this injury. But now seems to be the appropriate time to rest him. So keep an eye on that one. If he's out, Anthony Davis becomes an absolute beast of a play. He gets a big bump up. And he's taking on a Memphis front court and Jonas Valanciunas and Brandon Clark. Guys I'm not really all too concerned about slowing him down. Anthony Davis is pretty much matchup proof. And at 9.7, he's definitely underpriced, especially if LeBron's out. So keep an eye on that one. And then if LeBron's out, he would get a bump. It would give a bump to Dennis Schroeder, Kyle Kuzma, and even a guy like Markieff Morris. So definitely something worthy of keeping your eye on there. Jonas Valanciunas at 8K. It could be a decent play, banging down low with the likes of Marc Gasol and Anthony Davis at 8K. He's in a pretty respectable, price range, but he's going to need to get you up there towards the 50 range to be happy with him. So can he do so? Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see if there's some more centers that we can go to as we continue along the slate here. Kyle Anderson and Dillon Brooks are seeing a big bump in usage with no Ja Morant. They continue to be priced in the mid 6K range, and I mean, Kyle Anderson's just been absolutely beasting. 45, 41, and 47 DraftKings points. 3 out of his last 4 games, he's been in the 40s. The only other game, he had 25. I'd look for Kyle Anderson to, continue just to be heavily involved and play a lot of minutes. Same rule applies for Dillon Brooks, 6'3". This is a guy that I can absolutely stroke from behind the arc, and a guy that I love playing on DraftKings a lot of times if he's not priced appropriately. He's priced, decently right now because he does have to go out there and do something for you. He can't just be in the mid 5K range and kind of just hit a few threes and get you there. But definitely a worthy play for me in this one. Just always continuing to see some usage. And then Marc Gasol getting to take on his former team in this Memphis Grizzlies squad. A little bit of a revenge narrative there if you want to go there, but I don't know. It's tough targeting him when Anthony Davis is in the game. So that's my overall breakdown there. Tyus Jones would be the last guy you got to mention taking over the starting role for Ja Morant. So he's getting a big bump in usage. And then the other guy is DeAnthony Melton, who is expected to be back in this one. And I would expect him to have a pretty heavy involvement in this offense early on. He might be an interesting value play that we can jam in our lineups. At only 3.7, I would expect him to get a lot of usage with this second unit, if not the first. I'm guessing he's going to come off the bench. But anyways, DeAnthony Melton, a guy that can definitely get you there at that price tag. A pretty talented fantasy basketball player. Denver at Minnesota. Nikola Jokic at the top at 10.6 has been an absolute beast this season. 8.5-point spread in favor of the Denver Nuggets. 228.5 over under in this one. And Nikola Jokic, you got to have interest in him every single time out. Speaking of triple-double upside, this guy's definitely got it. 9 rebounds, 11 assists last time out, 10 and 12, 12 and 18, 9 and 10. If he's not getting you a triple-double, he's barely missing. And at 10-6, taking on this Minnesota team, team that's very bad defensively, I definitely think you could have interest in some Nikola Jokic. D'Angelo Russell on the other side at 7-4 continues to be underpriced. He hasn't gotten there somehow. I mean, there's no Karl-Anthony Towns. He's getting all the usage in the world. He only got 26 minutes last time out because of the blowout. But he's only in the 7K range. And with no Karl-Anthony Towns, you would think he'd be priced up like in the 8K range. And he just continues to not really... I'm just waiting for this guy to drop 50 DK points. He's more than capable. I don't really see what's holding him back. And I'm going to continue to promote him. He hasn't gotten you there, and it's frustrating. But you would think he could definitely get you there, and you got to be willing to play him with all the usage going to him with no Karl-Anthony Towns. Michael Porter Jr. continues to be out on the Denver side, so that's going to give a bump up to some of these guys in the starting units, guys like Jamal Murray, guys like Will Barton. We saw Jamal Murray have a big game last time out. He put up 48 DraftKings points. He's a very good three-point shooter, and when he gets hot, he's going to definitely get you there at the low 7K range. Not worried about the Minnesota defense as mentioned. Malik Beasley on the other side at 5'9". Another guy I've been promoting, next to D'Angelo Russell that hasn't quite had that big upside game, just waiting for it to happen, just waiting for him to put up 40 DraftKings points at a 5'9" price tag. So you got to keep targeting these guys and hope they break through. Naz Reid's been getting the starts for Karl-Anthony Towns in the mid 5K range. He put up 31 DraftKings points last time. If you can put up 30, 40 DraftKings points in the 5K range, you're going to be real happy with him. So he's definitely a spot to have interest in. Will Barton. I was really high on Will Barton last time out with no Michael Porter Jr. He got 36 minutes. He literally shot 1 for 7 from the field. He scored 2 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Will Barton is a very talented scorer when he gets minutes. Ironically, he got 36 minutes and scored 2 points. I don't get that. I'd be looking to go to him. I'm not worried about this Minnesota defense. Will Barton has a ton of talent. When he gets hot, he's kind of streaky, but he's just underpriced. So I'd be looking there again. And those are my top options in that one. Moving further along, Utah at San Antonio at 7 o'clock. DeMar DeRozan at the top at 7-5. LaMarcus Aldridge is questionable. If he remains out, we've seen DeMar DeRozan really take over, and that's going to continue to be the case. At 7-5, I'm going to have a ton of interest in DeMar DeRozan. There's no total out right now for this game, probably because of LaMarcus Aldridge's questionable tag. But 4-point underdogs are the San Antonio Spurs, so expect it to be a close game. And yeah, it all starts with DeMar DeRozan, for sure. 48 DraftKings points last time out, 41 the time before. He continues to be priced in the 7K range. That's too cheap. I mean, if he was up there towards 8K, then we would start talking about maybe fading him. But at 7.5, he continues to be way too cheap, so I like him. Rudy Gobert at 7.2, Donovan Mitchell at 7.1. They continue to be pretty underpriced for their roles. However, I will say it does seem as if Mike Conley is kind of digging into their usage, which is going to kind of keep them at this price tag. Because right now, Mike Conley's getting a lot of that usage, and at 6'9", they're all kind of becoming priced right around 7K. Mike Conley's put up 50, 33, and 51 DraftKings points the last 3 times out. Not exactly the best matchup, taking on DeJounte Murray defense, so maybe we can actually target a Donovan Mitchell and fade Mike Conley, because DeJounte Murray is a very good on-ball defender. And speaking of that, I'd have a ton of interest in him in this one. He seems to be the main guy also with the Spurs. It's all DeJounte Murray, all DeMar DeRozan early on. So those are 1A and 1B in this offense. Those are the guys I'd be looking to. The Utah Jazz team does have some guys that I'm going to continue to talk about because they can shoot the 3 ball and they get a lot of minutes. Bojan Bogdanovic, Jordan Clarkson, and Joe Ingles are the 3 guys that are underpriced. Their involvement and their usage is kind of all based upon shooting the 3. In Jordan Clarkson's case, it's really more about coming off the bench and getting all the usage without the starting unit. But Bojan and Joe Ingles, they're both all about just shooting the 3 ball, but they're priced to where they can just have a huge game and blow their price tags out of the water. For instance, last time Joe Ingles shooting 5 for 7 overall, 1 for 3 from the 3-point arc, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. He had 31 DraftKings points at only a 4-1 price tag. If he goes up there and puts up 31 at 4.7, you're going to be real happy with that. And Jordan Clarkson, same thing. He's going to get all the usage in the second unit. He's only 4'8". He could definitely go up there, put up 35 DraftKings points, and you're going to be, looking real good in tournaments. And then lastly, Rudy Gay will get a bit of a bump as well if LaMarcus Aldridge is out. A little bit disappointing last time, but at low 5, high 4K range, Rudy Gay can definitely get you there at that price tag. Dallas at Chicago, the next game up. Luka Doncic at the top, 10K. He is questionable in this one, but looking at the latest report, he seems to be a true questionable. And once again, Sunday seems to be the game, where they're resting these superstars. So we're gonna have to keep an eye out for that one. He might play, but I wouldn't be surprised to see some of these guys out. And if Luka's out, that's gonna open up a ton of value and guys like a Tim Hardaway Jr., like a Josh Richardson, like a Finney Smith, like a Trey Burke even. Trey Burke would be a tremendous play if Luka's out. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that one. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he's in or out. If he's out, Trey Burke, those guys that are priced low are going to become some of the top plays on the slate. Luka Doncic right now at 10K, I'm just really not trying to play him. He doesn't look that good. There's no over-under out for this game currently. 5-point favorites are the Dallas Mavericks, but Luka just hasn't looked all that healthy. I don't know. I'm really interested in seeing the latest injury news on him before I can really diagnose whether I'm interested in playing him or not. He put up 58 DraftKings points last time out. Is 58 DraftKings points at 10K going to be good for you? Yeah. Are there some other guys that could get there that we've talked about, maybe like a DeMar DeRozan with no LaMarcus Aldridge? Yeah, I mean, DeMar DeRozan's more than capable of going out there and putting up 58 DraftKings points. I mean, that's a very high ceiling game for DeMar DeRozan. I'm not saying he's going to do it easily, but he could, and Luka Doncic is priced at 10K, so I just need confirmation that he's good to go. If he misses, look for guys like Jalen Brunson, Trey Burke, to get extra runs at the point guard position on ball handling duties. Yeah, I mean, Luka's going to grade out great in my projections if he's in. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm playing him if he's in. Do I think he's going to be in? Who the heck knows? It's really hard to talk about the situation right now. Just know that if he's out, that opens up a bunch of usage. If he's in, he's the main guy in this offense. He gets all the usage as long as he's healthy. If they're saying he's not limited, go ahead and play him. Zach LaVine on the other side, he's the main guy. He continues to be way underpriced, in my opinion. I have played this guy. This guy has won me quite a bit of money early on in the season because he's just priced in the low 7K range. He's literally the top dog in this offense. They don't really have any other one to go to, and he's priced at 7.3. So if they're going to continue to give me a his price tag, I definitely have interest in Zach LaVine. Kobe White at 6'2", I'm going to continue to have interest in him. He's the second fiddle to Zach LaVine, so, at low 6K range, he's put up 36, 33, 40 DraftKings points, 3 of the last 4. Last time he only put up 20, but he was taking on Milwaukee, which is a very tough defensive matchup for him. He gets a much easier one in this one. And then Wendell Carter Jr. is going to continue to be a smash play with no Lauri Markkanen. He's going to get all the rebounds and stuff. The only problem with him is he has seen a price increase. He was only down at 5K for a while there, and I was targeting him every time out. It's easy to play him. He was just way too underpriced. Now he's up at 6K, much more reasonable. But at 6K, I still think he's underpriced, and he could definitely get you there. And then Otto Porter Jr. Otto Porter Jr. is the last guy I got to mention at 6'2". He has not been starting, but he has been coming off the bench in the 6-man role and doing pretty well. He had that 57 DraftKings points against Washington. 19 last time out, so I don't know. At 6'2", he was only in the mid 5K range before. At 6'2", while he could definitely get you there, it's going to be an all-or-nothing play. He's either going to bust or he's going to do really well for you. There's really no in between at that price tag, so go there if you're interested, but just know that's the case with him. Moving on to the Los Angeles Clippers at the Phoenix Suns. Kawhi Leonard at the top at 9.6. Right now, this game comes in with a 218.5 over-under. Expected to be a very slow one. 2.5-point favorites are the Los Angeles Clippers. And yeah, the pace is really tough in this one, so it's going to come down to usage and price tags. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are, the two guys on the Clippers side. They're the most obvious plays. They put up, Kawhi Leonard in another slow-paced game, 100-106 against Utah last time out, put up 62 DraftKings points. So he doesn't need to be involved in the highest-paced game to get there because literally all the usage is going to flow through these guys. And Paul George put up 55 last time out. So these guys getting a lot of minutes, a lot of usage. You got to have interest in them no matter what. I know it's a slower-paced game, but it's a close spread, which means Phoenix is going to keep it close, which means these guys are going to get their 40 minutes or so, and they're going to get all the usage. So Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are, very good options on this slate. Devin Booker at 7-7 has been really struggling to start the season. I'd like to tell you now is the time to jump on his price tag and to play him because he's underpriced, but he's going to have to take on the defensive, Paul George most likely, and Paul George is a very good on-ball defender. He's got help side from Kawhi Leonard. He's got help side from Patrick Beverley. So someone's got to score in this game, but I don't know if I'm looking to go to Devin Booker yet, honestly, when I can just go to other guys around the 7-7 range. Guys like a Zach LaVine instead, who has a much better matchup. It's going to be tough going to him. DeAndre Ayton at 7-1 has been performing, fairly decently. He had 38 minutes last time. He put up 40 DraftKings points. You could be going to him. Chris Paul, a little bit of a revenge narrative here, taking on his former team in the Los Angeles Clippers. He would be the guy I'm looking to go to instead of Devin Booker, honestly. If I'm picking one of these guys, Chris Paul's up there in usage with Devin Booker. He put up 37 DraftKings points last time out at 6-8. At 7K this time, he'd be the guy I'm looking to go to. And then on the cheap end, you could play a guy in Lou Williams, the 6-man off the bench at 4-6. He's only seeing low 20 minutes is the problem, but he's more than capable of getting you there at 4-6. He was 5-1 and 5-2. He put up 31 and 26 DraftKings points. He got a price decrease down to 4-6. So yeah, I'm starting to think, we might have to play some Lou Williams here at 4-6. I mean, this guy can get you 20 DraftKings points in 20 minutes very easily. And at 4-6, he has the upside of getting him a lot more. Just going to have to keep an eye on the rest of the slate. If Luka Doncic is out and all that value opens up in that game, like the Dallas Mavericks, Lou Williams becomes less of a priority. But 4-6, he's starting to get real hard to not give a hard look to. So last game of the slate, Portland taking on Golden State. In this one, Damian Lillard at the top. He comes in right now with a 9-8 price tag. 5.5 point favorites are the Portland Trailblazers. 234 over under. This game blew out last time. I think Golden State keeps it close this time. I had a lot of interest in this one last time. I'm going to have a lot of interest in this one again. Damian Lillard at 9-8. Steph Curry at 9-4 are the obvious plays. Dame put up 55 DraftKings points last time out at 9-8. He is priced up a little bit to where he needs to get you more towards 60, but he's more than capable of doing so, especially against a Golden State team that's not the best defensively. Steph Curry at 9-4. I'm just waiting for this guy to go off and put up 65 DraftKings points. He is so due for one of those games where he just shoots 10 for 12 from behind the arc, just absolutely lights it up. And I'm just waiting on it. I'm just waiting. I think this could be the one. Steph Curry, that half-point bonus on DraftKings, arguably the best shooter of all time. Just waiting for him to have that game. I think this could be the one. So I'm going to have a ton of interest in him. CJ McCollum has been very hot as well. 8-4. He did get a price tag increase as opposed to, the mid to high 7K range. But for good reason. This guy's playing a ton of minutes. Expect for him to play around 40 minutes. Expect for him to shoot a lot of 3 balls. Expect for him to make a lot of them. Very good shooter. He could be an interesting option. And then as far as the rest of the game, I'm not really all too interested in any of these guys. You could play Andrew Wiggins. You could play Kelly Oubre, 6'9 and 6K. But these guys are starting to see their price tags become more appropriate. And with Draymond Green back, I think it actually cuts into their usage a little bit of their rebounding upside, that kind of thing. So guys that I was trying to play early on to capture the upside while I could with no Draymond Green are now kind of starting to fade out for me. So I'm not really looking to go to any of these guys the rest of the way. And that is my overall breakdown of this 7-game slate. Before I let you go, got to give you my lock of the night. We're going to bounce back big in this one after Trae Young let us down last night. Lock of the night. Let's get into it. And my lock of the night tonight is going to be no doubt Russell Westbrook. As discussed earlier in the video, this guy's an absolute triple-double machine. You get the triple-double bonus over on DraftKings. I think we're starting to see the old Russell Westbrook, the Oklahoma City version. He's going to get you rebounds. He's going to get you assists. He's going to get you points. Even when he shoots bad, he's going to get you there. Right now, this game comes in with a huge total and a 240 over-under. 8.5 point spread, and even if the game gets away a little bit from the Washington Wizards, Russell Westbrook, I don't expect him to let up. He's always balls to the wall when he's out there on the court. full speed ahead, and at 10-2, I don't think this price tag is appropriate to slow him down yet. I expect to see that fire emblem next to his name tonight. Even if he's struggling to the field, he's going to get you there. He is my lock of the night. So there you have it. Russell Westbrook, my lock of the night. We're bouncing back after the letdown from Trae Young last night. Get Russell Westbrook in your lineup. 240 over under, a huge total, a fast-paced game. The old Russell Westbrook back, allowed to get the rebounds, allowed to get the assists. No longer on that Houston Rockets team. He's going to have a big game tonight. If you enjoyed the content throughout this video, if you could please leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload, that would be greatly appreciated. Appreciate all of the support, guys, on the road to 300. If we can get there, that would be awesome. I wish you all the best of luck tonight, and we will see you in the next one.